infantry badge
Oh.
in combat, mortar attack. We basically were getting hit by 82 millimeter mortars at our cop, and we attacked. We started fucking hanging rounds. So, all right, everybody. This is Frank with For the Old Breed, and today I would like to welcome my friend Jason Steele. What's going on, brother?
I'm glad to be here, man. Not
Hey.
a whole lot. Just got done training.
Yeah, you were at Monsuda or what?
Yeah, Monsuda this morning.
Who was there?
It was me, Elijah, his girlfriend Angie, I think a couple others.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Small-
good,
small
man.
group today.
Listen, man, you know I call Elijah all the time and ask him, dude, give me the numbers, man. I
Yeah.
want the numbers.
Yeah.
Does he tell you about that or no?
About like attendance?
Or about whatever, me getting on his ass? No?
No, not
He
too
doesn't-
much.
No, he doesn't? Okay. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about what we were talking about offline. Remember when we were at Monsuda?
Yeah.
So,
So,
you tell me, I want you to explain to me what you think about the Red Pill movement.
the Red Pill movement. All right. So where do you want to start? What do you think about like what the Red Pill is? Like, because a lot of people, because it's such a good again, what's it like analogy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the Matrix, such a good movie, man.
It's perfect.
It's like you take the pill that's like it's the truth ultimately, man. Like you go back to the world where you like pretend you don't know anything, you know, or you take in the truth. So it's like you can use the term red pill for so much stuff, you know.
Okay.
I feel like there's some communities that like I don't necessarily know if I want to, you know, like
Yeah,
get
you
my
don't.
name attached. to
Listen,
it,
I don't
you
want to
know?
be associated with certain people too,
Yeah.
because I think certain people they're full of shit. So I believe what the red pill is what's happening today with this modern day feminism, to where basically men are being looked to be dumb, or men are seen as being hateful to women for standing up for their own rights. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
For me as a grown man, I'm 49 years old, I've already lived a life. As I tell everybody, I studied for fun clinical psychology. So I do know that as far as men and women, guys that are red pill are men that are basically, men that are, as far as when it comes to being men, is at the end of the day, man, we are building status as we live as men. Because, you know, I think that men, we go to war, we die, we work dangerous jobs, we have the highest suicide rates and all this stuff, and society is telling us that we're wrong. It's like, especially by the younger generation, you know, they're supposedly woke.
Yeah. I feel like that is my like generation coming up, you know, and
so my thing is, look, look, man. This is what I tell everybody. They just don't want to hear it because they say it's misogynistic. The world, the infrastructure, is run by men. That is a fact. I did not make it the way it is.
Yeah.
We have to make ourselves. Women, younger women, when they're young, they're seen for their beauty, right?
Yeah.
This is why, listen, a woman can go to a club, get in for free.
Yeah.
They don't have to,
Free drinks.
everything.
Yeah.
If when you were 18, did that ever happen to you, Jason?
Well, man, they wouldn't even let me in, even if it was an 18 or over one. Man, they're like, man, you're too young. So I have to. They have to look at my ID extra minute. You know, if you're a girl and it's like that, they might not even ID you. You know,
Exactly.
It's messed up, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So you have to build yourself as a man, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
part of being red pill. The other part is this whole thing of like, you know, like for me, this is me personally. I've raised 2 children.
Yeah.
I have 2 adult children. So me, now that I'm the age that I am, I date a particular type of woman, a woman that's between no older than 30.
Yeah.
That is seen as misogynistic.
Yeah. I think a good place to start, man, is what you were saying about how men are replaceable. You know, like we get into jobs with the highest suicide rates, with the highest death rates from just it being a dangerous job.
That's right.
You know, we in war we're replaceable. We die, we go out, and we must. That's why the average age was, I think, in Rome. It was kind of like there's a little myth going on that like people back then died early. Like the death rate was like people didn't get old.
Yeah.
But the reality is more young people died. More people died when they're babies from sickness. More people died at war. And the reality is like, and this is the big problem with our new age, is there's nothing to die for. And I feel like that's where we've gotten lost is I think we're made to protect the elderly, the children, and our women. And that those are the roles that exist. And there's no longer a need. There's no external forces. We're not in the woods. Nobody's scared, and they need the man to stand up and protect them.
That's right.
We got welfare. We got a safety net. You know, you can never really get it that bad. Like even if your life goes through shit, you know, you can't really fuck up too hard to the point where you're gonna starve to death. That should be very unlikely in America.
And I think that's a very good point, Jason, because especially living in the Western world, you're talking about all these people that they feel like they're being mistreated by society. It's like you live in a first world country, first of all.
Yeah.
There are literally people dying trying to get over here, yet you're complaining about the life that you live here and possibly, the greatest country in the world. Like people want to come to this country.
To ever exist.
Yeah.
To ever exist, man. It's crazy.
For me, dude, as like a guy from my generation, it boggles my mind how some young, not even people my age, are just they're I don't know if they're not informed, or I think everything now is about your feelings, man.
Yeah,
it's about your feelings.
Dude, I was in the hospital yesterday, helping pick up my friend's wife, and this lady came out in the lobby, and I guess everybody was in the lobby was not like in an emergency, so they were just kind of waiting. And I guess they'd been waiting for a few hours. And I was just in there waiting for him to pick her up because she was in her room. And this lady just came out and she was like, we understand the blah, blah, blah. And she did that for like fucking 15 minutes. I didn't know what she was talking about. She just she would repeat the same thing, but in a different way. Like, we understand, you're going to be seen, this and that. It's like, hey, we get it. Like, there's a way. There's nothing you say that can change the fact there's a way. But it's like, it was really weird, man. It was like she was trying to coddle them. It was like I can't even describe it, man. It just, I see that more and more. It's like people need to be coddled or something now. And I think the reality is and this is what, before we were talking about this, I was like, man, I don't know if I really want to get into red pill stuff. But you know, I thought about it and I was like, you know, if I'm speaking what I believe to be true, ultimately that's the right thing to do, man. And like, what are you gonna not talk about what you believe in just because you could potentially get like canceled or something, you know, to have your words held against you? But the reality is, you know, there's a harsh truth that people are trying to like hide from people. If that makes any sense, like that Andrew Tate guy.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him. I'm not like a fan or anything, but he like pops up in everybody's feed. Like everybody knows who he is at this point.
Okay, so I've been listening to Andrew for a long time, and he says a lot of uncomfortable truths.
Yeah, but they're truths though.
Yeah.
Like I've heard him say something like, I think he's a troll. I think he tries to fuck with people, and I think that's why it kind of works. Is because he can say these true things, but it kind of has a joking undertone.
Yeah, but look,
you know?
But he says a lot of facts too. It's like,
this
is what.
For
look,
sure.
If you're a multimillionaire, you're 6'3", you're a decent looking guy, you're a world Muay Thai fighter, champion multiple times. You can get any woman you want. He's gonna want the very best, right? He's gonna get, and he should.
We all want the best, we all want the best,
And that's what women want too. But what women don't seem to understand is, if you're, let's say, 5'1", 185 pounds, you got 2 kids, she's gonna say, well, I'm a 10. I'm like, you're not a 10, and you can't get guys of that stature. You just can't. Right? But women continue to they coddle themselves. They say that to themselves. It's like, and that's the, listen, and you know what we have, you know what we know all these algorithms and we've been able to track it? Because of dating sites. They're saying that basically 80% of the guys online, women are not attracted to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man, there's actually, like, if you look at the data, man, when it comes to, there's a hierarchy of status, man. It is what it is. You know, people want to make it seem like we're all equal, but we're not. You know, I'm 5'9", 5'9.5" on a good day, man. Maybe round it up to 5'10". But here's the reality. I'm not tall. I'm pretty lanky, so like I'm like average height and I'm lanky. So I'm a small guy. So, you know, is that inherently disadvantage? Yeah, it is. In a certain way, yeah, I'm above some people, right? Because so it's like what I'm saying is like girls have the how should I say it? So anyways, what I was getting at was for men, it has less to do with looks. It has more to do with what you can do, how resourceful you are. Like how can you create, like it's how you carry yourself, you know, like even if you were broke, like if you can get to a state where you can climb wherever you're trying to climb, you know, not necessarily that you have to be rich, but you have the ability to get rich, the ability to succeed in whatever you're trying to succeed in. While women is we're visual guys, man.
Of course.
We're visual. So with women, status goes more about how you look like.
Yeah.
So when you look at the data behind the hierarchy of status, right? Women date the same or above.
That's right.
And men date the same or below.
That's right.
And that's statistically proven,
yes.
man. It's a statistical thing. And that's like when you're saying with dating apps, it's actually becoming, if you look at the data, I don't have any sources on me, but I mean, you guys can all look this up back home, but it's actually becoming less and less. It's called the Pareto distribution, which is 80-20. So 20% of the people do the majority work, while 80% of the people don't. So 20% of the men are sleeping with the majority of women, while 80% are kind of suffering.
That's right.
And the number is getting less and less with dating apps. And like people think, oh, everybody who's young is just fucking now. But the reality is, the virginity rates are going up too in the data, man.
Yeah.
Like South Korea, Japan, all these technologically advanced countries, their population's fucking declining. Like they're literally not having enough sex where their people are dropping in numbers.
Yeah, and I think
that's unheard of, man.
Dude,
that's
it's like 90% of the women are procreating. Only 40% of the men are procreating.
Yeah.
So there's 60% of men that are not getting laid.
Yeah, dude. But the thing is, this is the harsh truth that I'm loving this. I love to get into this.
Yeah, of course.
Is so with the numbers getting slimmer, you know, like a more successful amount of men, and this is directly because of social media. This is what my hypothesis. And it's people are climbing in status like to a severe amount. Like, I'm a, like, I don't know, let's say a YouTuber, I'm a this, that, or the other, and you can flex more on social media, you can go on things like Tinder, you can put whatever pictures you want on. But if you're a guy, you can get a lot of girls doing that. But if you're a normal guy, like you said, the majority of them are gonna find you unattractive.
Yeah.
So if you're like a 7 or above on Tinder, you can get laid by some 9, like a straight up stud. But the thing is, they think that's what their standard gets to. But the reality is, if you're 7 and you're dating a guy who's a 9, or not even dating, they're just hooking up with them. So they have this misconstrued idea that they can land themselves a 9. But the reality is, these 9s are using them because the small percentage is dating the majority of the population.
They're just getting
the
boned.
80-20, they're just getting boned, man.
Yeah.
And they think they can do that. That's why the numbers getting more and more less because they're thinking, oh, like their standards are so much higher than guys, man. And it's sad for those guys, but
okay.
It is what it is.
That was excellent. So I want to break the matrix. That's what I'm saying. That's why I started the podcast, because I want to empower young men. You're 5'9", I'm about 5, close to 5'9". On a good day, I'm 5'10". Okay? That doesn't matter, because in our world, see, we come from the Jiu Jitsu community. And there's some guys that are 5'2" that are straight killers.
Yeah.
So we're already breaking the matrix in that sense. You see? So a woman that doesn't know Jason would be like, he's just a guy, whatever. But you can beat a guy that's fucking 6'2", 230 pounds, like it's nothing. I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
I've seen my son do it all the time. He's breaking the matrix all the time. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that Jiu Jitsu is not just, Jiu Jitsu is life. Jiu Jitsu is the meaning of life, right? Because you're doing the impossible possible. So that's just from what they're seeing on your profile, but the same thing is, bro, you get the right photography.
Yeah.
You get you're fucking living the life you want to live, where you're making good money, you have a nice car, you have a nice source of income. Even though you're not 6 foot, you have all these things that make you excellent. Women are going to come to you.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to go to them, and that is what happens in my case. I don't look for women.
Yeah.
Women come to me because they know that I'm high value. Period.
Yeah. That's actually something very fascinating to me. Is I guess I could rewind the clock a little bit. I'm like 19. I just started jiu-jitsu. My life's at an all-time low. I got a DUI. I weigh 119 pounds, so I'm super skinny, and I had glasses too, so I look a little extra nerdy. I was just a little stoner back in the day. And I never knew really that girls give you looks like that. I was kind of like, when I was younger, it was like, the only way I could get girls was through like socializing, you know, like just having a cool friend group, cool, quote unquote, right?
Of course.
But the older I've gotten, you know, the more I've stayed focused. You know, I think that also like the way you carry yourself changes.
Of course.
You know, because I definitely remember being a lot more insecure, thinking like, especially at, like parties, bars, things like that, where there altercations can happen. You know, a lot of times if somebody's talking shit to you, you gotta back down because you're smaller. You know, you don't think you have the shot, but whenever you're confident, man, it's like you don't have to do that, man. You don't have to do that. You don't have to bark. You don't have to make it seem like you're more than you really are. Like, cause some small guys do start shit with people.
Dude, you're a straight killer, bro. You're a killer. Dude, listen to me. You will fuck the majority of guys out there. Like if they, I would, dude, like I said, I'm sure like some big 6 foot guy that's never done jiu-jitsu, dude, you'll destroy, man. But they think they're just, cause they've gotten used to it. They've gotten used to pushing people around.
Away with it, yeah.
But in jiu-jitsu, it's the same thing, dude. You go to a jiu-jitsu competition, it's the most respectful place. Because everybody in there, or there's a lot of killers in there.
Yeah.
And it's just our whole lifestyle is based on humility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And the way you carry yourself changes, like the more you progress in whatever you do. It's not necessarily, like, I mean, I've won some tournaments, no major titles, anything yet. Hopefully next year, hopefully maybe by the end of the year, but it's not about what you've gotten, it's about how like you carry yourself.
That's right.
Because like all the high level jiu-jitsu guys I've met, they carry themselves differently.
That's right.
Like when I met Hamla Bahal, man, like an absolute legend, multiple time champion, gi, no gi, he's done it all, man. Like, absolute legend, and he's the only person I've ever met in my entire life. When I saw him, he was the pinnacle of, I guess you could say alpha male. It seemed like he had such a happy attitude that it seemed like if somebody just, unfortunately, like Leandro passed away, man, I feel like if that happened to Hamlo, he could die peacefully. Like, I don't know that. I don't know him personally. But the way he carried himself was like, I've been there, done that. And he had nothing but love and knowledge to give. It was a seminar. And he was really giving out his information. He wasn't holding it back. And it was very interesting. And
very interesting.
The more you meet those kinds of people, higher level people, just high value people, man, like,
that's right.
The way they carry themselves is different. It's like you were saying, like, well, at some point things like how you look, how tall you are, like that kind of stuff kind of fades by how you carry yourself, you know.
And it's listen, man, it's what you exude as a human being. Like I said, I'm not 6 foot. I'm not the most handsome guy, but it's presence. And like I said, especially these guys that are trying to get women.
Yeah.
That's why I also did this podcast. It's like, you're spending lots of money, you're not getting anything back.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, we're here to procreate. I'm sorry
that's the reality.
I'm sorry to burst this bubble, but yes, men want to have sex with women, and men want to have sex with many women. If you're not seeing one particular woman, it's just the way that we're designed. It's just the way
we have twice as many female ancestors as we do male.
Really?
Yeah, because that's testament. Like that's factual information. That's testament to how guys are expendable, right? And how a few people reproduce, a few men will reproduce with more women, right? Because it's kind of like the strong will survive, man. It's reality. People don't like to admit it, but survival of the fittest out here. You know, if you're not fit physically, not fit as in strong, but like have fit as in the scientific definition, you have the ability to reproduce successfully. That's what all fitness boils down to. A lot of guys don't have that. You know, that's why their ancestry didn't get passed down. So we have twice as many female ancestors.
Well, listen, and that's why I think that jiu-jitsu is so beneficial to young men, because especially young men that grew up without a father or without real discipline, jiu-jitsu will set you on the path, man. I always say Elijah, my son, he's a straight killer too. He's the most humble, super quiet guy. You know, he's lived a good life. He was raised by his parents. You know, he's a good kid, but he developed into the human being that he is because he saw his parents working hard his whole life. So he took that same thing, that work ethic, and he put it into jiu-jitsu. And he's become the man that he is because of what he put on the mat, not because of what I did.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing if I approach somebody or I talk to somebody or whoever, it's not fake confidence, because it's the same thing, man. It's Listen, man, I feel the same way too, man. I've been shot at, I've been mortared, I've taken rockets, I've taken RPGs in combat. I've slept in fighting positions. I come to this world and I think it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And I wish I could just go back.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could just go back. Right? Yeah. But I'm here and I'm making the best of it. And how am I going to do it? I want to be ultra successful.
Wait, so you say you wish you could go back?
Of course, man. All of us do.
Do you live for that? Do you think whenever you had access to that, like adrenaline, you think that's like...
It's not adrenaline, man.
What,
it's not
what is it?
It's not adrenaline. It's the camaraderie.
Okay.
That's the being with other men and fucking sharing fucking your last meal, or being in the middle of nowhere and being scared and cold and hungry. You're doing something that you're never gonna do again. I mean, I'm never gonna be able to, sit, do fire watch while all my guys are sleeping in a fucking fighting position at 10,000 feet in the middle of nowhere in a combat zone in Afghanistan. I'll never be able to do that again. And I remember getting out of my fighting position and just looking out to nowhere and thinking, is this gonna be my last night? And just being like, fuck it, if it is, it is. I'm in the best place I need to be at, right? So yeah, we all get it. We all get that rush. And then we come home and it's like, these guys get motorcycles, they get fast cars, they do stupid things, and then,
Yeah.
But it's the nature of men, Jason. You don't even have to go to combat. You seek combat. You do Jiu Jitsu because you want that thrill. And you want to be part of something. You want to be part of that community as men.
We have that, with that, like, compulsion in us,
Yeah.
We gotta let that out somehow.
The warrior in us, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's why look, people are getting more depressed this generation, myself included, and I think it really boils down to men not having anything to fight for. We can all just live, I'm trying to get a good job, I'm trying to make more money, I'm trying to climb up my whatever corporation so I can have more more resources for my family. That's the equivalent of like, having something to fight for. It's just working hard. And unfortunately, that's not enough, man. Like these office jobs, that's not enough as a fight for, That's like, you gotta, I don't know, I definitely feel you. Sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong generation. Like sometimes I'm like, man, like I don't know, like I have, like I've always, like my family personally, they fought in every single major war in like American history, like every single generation. And I don't really know how I feel about that anymore because I personally don't have enough information about, what's going on overseas, that kind of thing, like I feel, it's like, have you heard of the story of the Japanese guy who got trapped in the Philippines during, I think, World War II? Mm-hmm. Have you heard that story?
Tell me.
So this guy, he was like I'm probably gonna butcher this story, but basically how it goes is like this general of some sort, high-ranking military official in Japan. He goes to lead this small group in the Philippines during World War II because I guess that was a territory they were fighting over. And one of the instructions was that the instruction he got before when he was there was never stop fighting, and because like basically Japan won't surrender. So if somebody tells you Japan is surrender, it's like fake news. So the guy basically stayed in there his whole life, and like everybody left whenever Japan officially surrendered, and he was like, oh, that's fake news basically. And he just lived out in the jungle, and basically everybody left except him, and he was just this crazy ass dude that would go burn down farms and stuff in the Philippines, come in the woods, come back out, he was just fucking like a terrorist.
Wrecking havoc,
man. He was doing his job. He's never gonna quit, never gonna surrender. Yeah. And some like, it was like decades later or something like that. They found him and they convinced him like, hey man, like this war's been over for a while, and they get him to come back to Japan. And when he gets back to Japan, as you know, Tokyo, bright lights, soy boys. He's looking around like, holy fuck, what did I sacrifice my existence for? Decades just living in the jungle, terrorizing these Filipino dudes. Like, what did I do that for? Was that was all in vain? Like, look at these fuckers. They're all lollygagging on their phones, all these bright lights, all this. They're just living for what? Fun, And is that worth fighting for? So basically my point is like, I kind of feel like that. It's like, what are you fighting for? This country's kind of like in a really weird stance right now. It's like, what do you, if hypothetically some war was to break out, because you know how every dude ever says, oh yeah, I wouldn't join the military, but if war broke out, I would definitely get signed on.
Well, I absolutely like I've told other people, we are in a soft time right now as far as men. Men are, I call it the pussification of America right now. But as far as fighting a war, we've been fighting wars for the last 70 years. We literally make warriors. We make warriors in this country. I've served with some of the finest warriors this country's ever produced. We have Fort Benning, Georgia, which is the home of the infantry here at Fort Benning, Georgia. We have the 75th Ranger Regiment here at Fort Stewart, Savannah. You have 3rd Infantry Division. You have the 82nd. So we can go to war whenever we want. We've gone to war. We've continued to subdue the enemy in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I'm not worried about that too much. I think we need to get back to where we need to as far as men being men. The problem is we're having too many of these fucking, keyboard warriors or so-called fucking woke people that have never fucking done anything hard in their life, talking about this and that. I mean, I talk to people all the time. It's like, it's like even in the jiu-jitsu community, you're training as a man, you're training with a woman. The woman's like, listen, and I know this has probably happened to you because it's happened to everybody.
Yeah.
I want you to treat me, this is what the woman will say, I want you to treat me like as though I were a man. And you're like, what? And you're like, okay, that's fine. And then you roll, but you're not doing 100%.
Yeah.
Because you would fucking destroy her.
Yeah, man, that was actually something I've learned, like when my buddy Jose, Jose trains at Monsuda as well.
Yeah.
He was my first coach in the gym. He had the gym I trained at, GB in Gainesville. And it was very, very cool, man. I joined in pretty early in the gym. I'd only been around for like a year. And I was one of the only small guys, me and a guy named Sam. So we're like the 2 small dudes at the school.
Yeah.
But he would use us as like, we would help welcome people who were also smaller and women.
Of course.
Because a lot of big guys are intimidating, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to, you just sign up for a class your first time and your girl is like kind of like, oh God, this big ass dude.
Yeah, you don't want some big hairy guy with a woman. Yeah,
exactly. So that was something that was very beneficial to me. It's like you do learn how to, it's like when I roll with people, my objective is almost, how can I beat this person's ass in the most gentle way I can, And some dudes are like tough white belts, for instance. It doesn't have to be gentle because sometimes you can't, right?
That's right.
But I'll do enough to beat them, right? Because even if it's like, you don't have to fucking beat a white belt's ass, like tap them out 10 times in one round, right?
Yeah.
Do it a couple times, and you kind of let them work. That's how I've always seen it. But if it's somebody tough, you can't really go easy, and
of course.
That's what I mean by gentle way possible. Sometimes gentle means you have to beat their ass, or get your ass beat, or go down trying. But
I understand, man. Well, my whole point to that thing was, women seem to think, especially now because of the whole empowerment movement, that men and women are equal. We are not equal. We are physically, I said physically, superior to women. We're made to fight. We're made to build. We're made to work. Our muscle structure, our frame.
Yeah.
Right?
Physiologically, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
But
right.
society, Jason, is telling us otherwise.
Yeah.
That's why you got Angelina Jolie beating the shit out of like 6 dudes. It's like, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's a movie, but some women actually believe it.
Believe it, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. Have you ever seen Cobra Kai?
I have not seen it, man, but karate movies give me a headache, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a jiu-jitsu purist that I'm like, this is reality.
Yeah, I love the idea of the show, man. I love it so much, but it's like there's always these scenes where the girl main characters are fighting, and it's like they're beating these like tough dudes. I'm like, man, what
Jason,
is this?
If their hands are this little, you can't knock a guy that's 230 pounds, man. That's not gonna happen.
It's the reality, and it's even like for me, like I can beat some average dude in the bar who's maybe 6'3", 250 pounds.
You're not gonna punch him out, bro.
I'm not gonna punch him out, for one, and two, if he has minimal training, it's gonna be a pain in the ass for me to do anything. That's the reality. People have advantages and people have disadvantages, and I think that's actually that's a good leeway to talk about the differences between men and women.
Okay, tell me what the differences are.
So I think the first and most important difference between men and women is women are into people and men are into objects.
Yes.
And you can see that in a toddler. You have a toy, like a Barbie or something like that, and then you have a car.
That's right.
The guy is most likely to go for the car, and
That's
the girl is most likely to go for the people because they're empathetic.
That's right.
They're emotional creatures, man, and that's why they take up caretaker positions, and they're the best at it because they're natural caretakers.
That's right, because they're about people.
Yeah, exactly, man, and that's why, like, I totally agree with you, man. Like, people don't want to admit our differences, but there's advantages and disadvantages, and we have roles to play, man. We have roles to play, and women are inherently better at dealing with people.
For sure.
And that's why men like to work on things. We like to work on cars. There's so many like every fucking gearhead. What is a guy? You know.
Architects.
Yeah, architects, engineers. Dude, the dude in Google who got fired for writing this. He wrote a whole memo out about how they were trying to do some like affirmative action, like more women in the like programming workplace. But programming is like this. More like on the engineer side of the brain, right? So that's a 99% fucking dude field.
Affirmative action doesn't work.
It doesn't, man. It's literally you're robbing people of opportunities because of skin color, gender, and things like that. If that's not racism or sexism, I don't know.
But not just that. So have you ever heard of Dr. Thomas Sowell? Dr. Thomas Sowell is an American treasure as far as he's my
awesome.
mentor. I love him.
Yeah.
He talks about affirmative action. If you put, let's say, a minority to go to, like, say, say Harvard.
Yeah.
And he's doing well at his college. He's in 100%, or let's say 97 percentile. You send him to Harvard, he's going to be at 20%. Okay, because he can't compete with people at Harvard. So what's happening is you're getting all these minorities into these very esteemed colleges, but they can't compete. Now they'd be able to compete at a regular college.
Yeah.
But no, you're taking them to the echelon of education. So what's happening is about 70% of them are on academic probation. See, but those are things that nobody ever talks about.
No one wants to talk about it.
Right?
I think this is where I was talking before, where I get controversial. And I'll speak a little bit about it, but I'm not going to get too much into it because I don't want my words to get misconstrued by people in the future.
Go ahead.
But this is my truth, man. We have advantages physically and we have advantages mentally. And that goes the same backwards. You have disadvantages in both. And one advantage people don't want to realize is IQ. And IQ is a genetic thing.
That's right.
And it's actually been blocked in basically almost all the scientific studies. It's taboo now to research genetics and its involvement with IQ. And the reason is because people don't want to know that some people born with advantages, you know. And IQ is the number one predictor of success. And like number two is conscientiousness, like how hard you work. But above all is how smart you are, man. Like if you're a retard, man, sorry, but life is going to be a lot harder for you.
For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be harder for you to pick up what's going on in the world. And you know, that's why I think it's kind of messed up, man. Like that people don't acknowledge that's the fact. It's like I couldn't be Albert Einstein if I tried my hardest. And you can usually tell at an early age who can be great in those kinds of fields because it's genetic, man. At the end of the day, a lot of it's genetic.
And the studies indicate that basically for women, it's a pretty like consistent standard.
Yeah.
For us, it's like we have like the dumbest motherfuckers
and the smartest.
And the smartest.
Here, that's actually a great point, man.
That's a fact.
That's a fucking fact. And here's the reasoning behind that. Is we were saying at first men are expendable. That's fucking because of genetics too. Because I can't explain to you the science behind this actually. But the briefly to go over is and when it comes to our chromosomes, like the women have like what X and X or whatever the chromosome, and the X one is it's basically has the ability to it's more like. Let's just say it's more stable. This is bro science right here.
Go ahead.
The X and Y, the Y chromosome is like has more of the ability to be altered in your DNA and stuff like that. That's why we have more retards for guys. That's why we have more incarceration rates. Those people are typically low IQ, high testosterone, and then we have geniuses because we have the ability. Well, we not really ability, but we have. That's how men are made. Like we have more variety. That's why there's more tall, freakishly tall guys, like NBA players, 7 foot. We have a lot of midgets and people with Down syndrome. They're mostly guys. Like when I think back to school and the retard classes or whatever you want to call them. I'm not saying that.
Special ed. Yeah,
special ed. My bad.
No, that's fine, brother.
It's like that,
listen, in the army, everybody was retarded.
Yeah.
So that's a word.
Yeah.
I know people get offended by it. It's like, it's fine. I don't care.
Yeah,
This is a man show.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So it's like, if you think about those Down syndrome people, they're usually dudes. You don't really see that often. Of like, have you ever seen a female Down syndrome person?
I mean, I have, but I definitely, it seems like there are more men.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Really?
Yeah, but it's the same way when it goes to freakishly tall people. We have more genetic variation in men.
Yes, we do.
And women are smarter on average because they have a little bit less of that genetic variation. And it's because like we're meant to be expendable. We're like fucking test dummies in a weird way.
But it's the same thing that they tried doing in egalitarian societies in Scandinavia, where they thought that basically, egalitarian means everything is equal, right? Everything is in proportion. So basically, they found out that the women had the freedom to do what they wanted to do. Instead of becoming engineers, they did what they were supposed to do. More social workers, more caretakers, right? And we know this study is a fact because most professors and people that study these things are all, let's say, left-wing. So we know that it's a fact. So it's not controversial. It's a fact.
It's a fact, man. They did that in Sweden where it's like they forcefully put women in more of those like equal for the jobs and careers. And what happened is women started getting more upset whenever they're working those kinds of jobs, man. Like you said, they want to go back to be caretakers and things like that.
Yeah, but see, but Jason, you say that to some women and they get in their feelings, and it's like, listen, because men are pragmatic for the most part. It's like, I'm telling you facts, but you don't like facts. You're upset because you're getting in your feelings. I'm telling you what it is. It's the same thing with the pay gap. The pay gap is a myth because if they say that women make 80% and I make $1 for every dollar I make, she makes 80%. If I'm a capitalist, why don't I just hire all women? You see, that's why that doesn't work, because in capitalism, it's based on performance. And the people that are making the most money in STEM, right? Mathematics, engineering, technology, is men.
Yeah.
The internet is created by men.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you look at all the like Pulitzer and Nobel Prizes, they're majority men. Like all these scientific discoveries that people make are men. It's those geniuses. It's like that's the way it works. Like I feel like we as men we have this like we have a fucking drive to be the best, to build a legacy, man. Like that's how we attract women. Essentially.
That's right. That's right.
Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I've kind of thought about it. Like I feel like this, not like the ability to jiu-jitsu. My love for jiu-jitsu, I feel like it's a gift. You know, like I just fucking love it. I train twice a day and I want to. It's probably because I want to be great. I want to be a world champion. I want to be known, you know. I want to get my name out there.
You're on your way, man.
I hope so, man.
No, you are. I've seen it, man. Your jiu-jitsu is beautiful, man. It's beautiful jiu-jitsu.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I like it. I'm very, very impressed, man.
Dude, I hate to admit it, but it's probably because I want to attract the highest possible mate that I can, you know.
Of course.
And that's what we do. What we do. Because like you said, we're here to procreate. So it's a love of the game, but at the same time, it's probably deep down trying to climb the hierarchy, trying to make as
fame. There's nothing wrong with
that's why guys work so hard. Like guys are more likely to put overtime hours. They're more likely to. I mean,
that's another fact.
To do this extra shit, man.
That's another.
They want to go the extra mile.
They did a study in a hospital. It was just a regular hospital. They found out that men were making 50% more money than the women. So they were like, oh, there it is. Men do make more money. It's like, no, men are working longer hours than women. See, women have choices. If a woman has a child, she may not work 70 hours a week. If I don't have a child, or let's say if I'm married and my wife is taking care of my kids, bro, I'm gonna work fucking 90 hours a week. That's what most men want to do.
Yeah.
Because we want to, like you said, dude, everything you said is true. Mm-hmm. There's nothing controversial about what you said. Mm-hmm. It's controversial for people that are ignorant.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But for people that have common sense, this is common sense. But see, then people get upset with me. Listen, I've been called a misogynist.
Yeah,
just a misogynist.
Me too.
I've been called a sugar daddy. I'm like, no, like, I want a particular type of woman. A woman is looking for a particular type of man. Why can't a man have the same choice?
Yeah, we have preferences, man.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I think everything that we're talking about, man, it's a movement. And No, I've told a lot about it.
It grows, man.
Dude, it has to. It's going to, because I think men are basically being fed up. I mean, look at
I think women are fed up too. I think that's the thing too. I think they're getting fed up.
Yeah.
Like deep down, I think they're getting fed up because they're dealing with a lot of feminized men. I think that's a big thing, man. I think they might act like they want this and that, but deep down they don't. You know, they want somebody who's willing to put the work in, who's willing to climb, not somebody who's willing to, let's do like the whole, let's do the co-parenting, like we both work kind of thing. And that's cool. I've seen people with successful marriages who both work, but I think generally like for my mom, she's a stay-at-home mom, and that's what you got to do, man. It's too much work. It's too much work to take care of kids full time, give them the love they need, clean the house up, provide them good meals. You know, that's a lot of work. Like it's not necessarily the hardest thing in the world, but I think it's very commendable, man. You're raising a human being, and
but that's why I'm saying. But they're being lied to by society. I mean, hell, like I said, we've been lied, and I'll say it all the time. We've been lied to the government about this whole COVID-19. I think it's fucking ridiculous. The whole thing. I think thousands of innocent people were put out of work, especially in our community, the Jiu Jitsu community, gyms.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's like they're telling us we need to shut down. It's like, listen, you tell me we should be the study case because that's what we do. We roll around with other men. How come there wasn't an epidemic of jiu-jitsu guys dying?
Yeah, it really wasn't. You know, it's funny you say that. I was living in Atlanta at the time. I took 6 months off jiu-jitsu because I didn't know what the world was like.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta was like a ghost town everywhere you went. Put your mask on. I'm from Dawson, man. My parents live out in the countryside, and I went to the Walmart, and nobody had their mask on, and it was like I felt guilt for taking my mask off. I was like, I don't know anyone who's died around here. Everyone's living like it's normal out in the countryside, but out in the city, it's like apocalypse. And that's when I realized, oh shit, I've been fucking fed the blue pill, man. And I took it right in. I just didn't question it. I was like, oh, look at the data. Look at the data. People are dying at it.
Yeah, but because you're a man and you're pragmatic, you started to see like this is this is bullshit.
This is bullshit. I look around. I'm like, no one's dying around here. No one's sick, and I don't know anyone who's been affected by it. And that's when I realized, oh God, like the government's they're moving out.
It's criminal, man. It's criminal, but that's what I'm saying. You tell any fucking. That's what I tell people. Like we all have references. Bro, I was in some fucking straight shitholes. Like, we lived in, like, the middle of nowhere, filthy showers. We used to burn our garbage, all that stuff. If that shit didn't kill me, you're telling me that I'm going to have to come home and you're going to tell me that if I put a mask on, that's going to fucking save my life? I'm going to tell you that you are out of your fucking mind, Jason. Dude, I'm telling you, you know, and I'm going to be enraged about it. Yeah. Like, you're fucking stupid. Like I said, to this day, I see people driving with a mask on, bro, by themselves. If that's not the epitome of fucking retard, I mean, you're fucking retarded. That you're retarded. I'm like,
it's a little bit of both. I think a lot of it's brainwashing, man. I think a lot of times people they're like I said, they're in a community where that's all they see. So when I was in Atlanta, that's all I knew. I was like, oh shit, everything's shut down. Nobody's going out. Everyone's wearing a mask. I thought that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Reality is not. That was not it.
That's right.
You know, you go to the normal part of the world, the part of the world where they actually do shit, blue collar work. That's like the people who actually get their country moving. Nice people in these like bullshit office jobs that don't even know what they're doing. They're trying to like. I hear people talk about all the time with office jobs, like they're pretending like they're doing something. They don't know why they're getting paid that much. It's the Pareto distribution. 20% of the people, the majority of the work. 80% of the people, they're just doing bullshit. And when a dark time comes, recession, depression, however bad it gets, that's when the fat gets trimmed off. And these people who were doing all these bullshit jobs, they're gonna get laid off.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, a small amount of people do the majority work. And yeah, that's the weird part we're at.
Well, listen, man, you've said so much, man. I am constantly just wondering where the world is at right now because, you know, even the things that we're talking about right now, dude, it's not controversial, man.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Not at all.
But, dude, I was, my brother was going to Emory, and I was living there with him in North Druid Hills. And, man, whenever I was walking around the campus, like, just hanging around with people, it was like, I had to bite my tongue. And when I did say shit, people were like, oh, shit, what is this guy saying? You know? And I've noticed that in a lot of the city-like areas. I haven't been around a bunch of other college campuses.
It's very left-wing, man. It's very socialistic.
It was weirder than I thought. I actually I went to sneak into this is a funny story actually. I went to sneak into a lecture when the school started. I was like, I want to learn about. Let's see, what do I have always wanted to learn about? Greek classics. That's a cool ass class. I want to learn about the classics and the classic literature. So I went in there, and I sat down, and I was just pretending like I was a student, trying to get just listening. And one of the first things, they were going over their curriculum and what they were going to learn. And one of the things they said was, we're going to study the female poets of this generation.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the effects, I forgot what it was. It was like slavery in Rome. Or not Rome. I don't remember. I don't remember. But it was they wanted to integrate slavery and female poetry for whatever reason.
Okay.
And that's whenever I was like, okay, this is fucking bizarre, because the reality is, all the great literature back in the day was written by men because women weren't even allowed to.
Yes.
So it's like you're literally like nitpicking these like kind of average poets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they've done great work, but in comparison to fucking a lot of the people,
Fucking
like,
Shakespeare or
go back to the Greeks, like fucking Aristotle, Plato, all these crazy guys,
philosophers.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna skim over that and go over these females who, just because the fact they're female, man. There's a lot of other great literature that's like, I don't know why that was pinpointed, and I realized that like we're being brainwashed, man. It's starting with our youth. It's starting with our college.
But they say the majority of professors in colleges are socialists, man.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that was true. After I sat down for that, I was like,
they were feeding that same BS to my daughter, and my daughter was pretty much raised conservative. Mm-hmm. You know, listen, it's not like I'm fucking standing for the Republican Party. I think they're all full of shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. But I started to see that in my own daughter. She was telling me stuff that didn't even make sense. I was like, where are you getting all this shit?
Yeah.
She was getting it from college. She was being indoctrinated, right? But listen, 70% of colleges, or the people that are graduating colleges, are women.
Yeah, the majority of women.
Yeah, and so what's happening is they turn it into a big institution, because there are a lot of women that they switch majors.
Yeah.
Guys are usually like, yeah, I'm going to be a fucking engineer. They do their school and then they fucking get out.
Yeah.
So then it becomes big business for women.
Yeah.
Because women are like, well, maybe I'll be biology. No, let me go to liberal arts.
Yeah.
You know.
And because they're 70%, they end up taking a lot of the leadership, man. And reality is, like we talked about, women are not the leaders, man. They're emotional creatures, man. They're here to support us.
That's right.
That's like my goal in life.
That's right.
I want to find a woman who's able to support me in my dreams. I want that to be her dream. Like, my dream is to have a family. I want to have kids and like take them to jiu-jitsu, like homeschool them and just make sure jiu-jitsu is their priority.
Sure.
Train it 2-3 times a day. Turn them into like warriors by the time they're 18. Like, they're fucking warrior, right? Like, that's what I want my kids to be. But I need a good wife who's able to support me, who is able to understand these things and her role, right?
So you want her to be submissive.
Exactly,
For
man.
sure.
That's what we want, submissive women, man. We don't want somebody who's going to give us fucking attitude and not listen to us.
But that's exactly what we keep going back to. That's what society is telling that. Hey, you go, girl. You go be a boss.
Yep.
It's like, no.
And they don't want that, man. Because here's the reality: is whenever girls hit 30, their biological clock starts ticking, and they were told a lie that, hey, you need to be a fucking powerful boss girl.
That's right.
Boss lady or
That's
whatever
right.
the fuck they say, like fucking woman power. And then by the time their clock's ticking, they're like, oh shit, I gave up all my beauty in my youth. I didn't use that to my advantage. I was sleeping around. I didn't pick a partner and lock them down. Now my clock's ticking. I can't have babies soon. I'm losing my beauty. I'm losing my youth. So they gotta go and they gotta move. And then the tables reverse. Then it's easier for men who have in their 30s, because what they've developed. They developed. Yep. Yeah, and they're climbing up. And then it inverts. It goes from men chasing around women to women chasing around men whenever their clock starts ticking. And it's a sad reality whenever their clock ticks and they can't secure it. They can't secure the family, have a kid like they want with a successful man, because they didn't use their youth to their advantage.
You have said, Jason, a mouthful. That's perfect. That is perfect, man. No, listen, these are, like I said, these are facts. These are facts that you're pointing out, and women get butthurt, and that's why I even say that to women. It's like, don't sleep around, because men don't like that.
They don't like that, man.
Yeah, and the reality is, if a woman loves and respects you, she doesn't want to have sex with other men.
Exactly.
The studies also indicate that a woman that sleeps around a lot is not able to pair a bond with a man.
Yeah. That's fucking
because
real.
they're not designed to.
Yeah.
See?
Because they're the receivers. We're the givers.
That's right.
So if that's why we have this, like, when guys see like a girl who's like barely even hot, we want to fuck them. Why?
That's right.
Because that's in our DNA. We want to give, right? But these women receive. They have to be picky. That's why they go the same or above. That's why the hierarchy thing I was talking about earlier, it's like that for a reason, because they take a bigger hit, man. When they get fucked, if birth control doesn't exist, and we're human beings, we've existed for thousands of years, this new invention of birth control, it's new. So when they take, they're stuck. They have a baby and they have to take care of it. It's not very smart for you to have babies with multiple men in your tribe. That's going to create issues for you.
That's right.
So mentally, they're not meant to have all these partners.
That's right. That's right.
And unfortunately, and that's where the misogyny comes in. That's when they point the finger and say misogyny. You're a hypocrite. Well, the reality is, we have the capability. We don't get fucked up from having multiple partners. And I don't recommend that. I'm trying to avoid that. But the reality is, we don't take the hit like they do, because that's our fucking DNA. We're made that way.
Well, but it's the same controversial thing that I say all the time. It's like women always say, "I fucked this guy." It's like, you didn't fuck anybody.
Yeah.
And I listen, I don't want to offend anybody, but you got fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, but they say that almost like they're male. I mean, you see women all the time that say suck my dick. Like, who says that? You know? That's not that is not feminine, ladies. That's not feminine when you say that, when you act like that. Like, it's the same way too, man. Dude, I'm with you 100%. I love feminine, submissive women. The word femininity is submissive.
Yeah.
Women that are feminine are submissive.
Man.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, because a good man will literally die for you. We will.
Yeah.
We will. And you know, I think there's just, like I said, it's the media that portrays us as like, you know, whatever, the chauvinistic, misogynistic. It's like, dude, we've developed a great society. Man has developed this society that we live in today.
Yeah,
the phone.
Fucking amazing.
I mean, tampons were created by a man.
Mm.
The birth control pill, I will almost probably guarantee you, was created by a man. Yeah. Anything that you can think of, anything, elevators, buildings, cars. Yeah. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm misogynistic. It's like, listen, and this is what I tell everybody. It's like, men has built this world, but women make it go around, man.
Yeah, man, they do, man.
Everything we do for women.
Yeah, why do we do all this shit? Why do we go up in the fucking sky and risk our lives to build these giant buildings? You know, why do we go in these oil rigs and almost die? Like doing these underwater jobs where you have to clean stuff underneath, like like, and you run out of oxygen and you fucking die. You know?
Yeah.
We do all these crazy ass jobs for women, man. That's why we do it.
Yeah. So tell me, man. So how are you going? So you're single right now, or are you seeing somebody? Really? Do you go out? Well, what are you doing right now?
So I stay to myself, man. I function best whenever I'm steady on my purpose, man. And my purpose is jiu-jitsu.
Of course.
So if anything gets like, sex is the most enjoyable thing a human being can go through, man.
For sure.
For anybody, you know,
that's
the reality. So I try to avoid that, so my dopamine goes straight to jiu-jitsu. When I think about jiu-jitsu, I'm fucking like, I want to go. I'm like a zombie sometimes. It's like I can barely get up. I can barely like walk around sometimes. Like when I'm dealing with an injury in like my collarbone, and I still want to train. You know, I'm like sore, beat up. I still want to train, but I don't get that as much if I'm talking to women, and that's the reality. So I don't need that. You know, like, so the reality is, for me personally, I take what's given to me. You know, I don't go out of my way. If a girl makes it apparent, they make it apparent, man. They, like, if they're on the other side of the room, they'll look you in the eyes, they'll smile at you.
For sure.
And that's an invitation, hey, come talk to me.
For sure.
So I don't go out of my way, I don't go to bars, I don't use dating apps. I stay to myself, I train, I stay cool with my family, I stay cool with my friends, and that's it. That's all I really need. And unless something serious comes around, you know, I'm good. You know, like, it's either it comes on my lap, or it's something serious that is worth working for. I don't think chasing pussy is healthy at all. I think it'll kill your soul, man. Like, if you don't have a purpose, and that will override your purpose. I know that was me at one point when I was younger, and that's like almost every guy I know. Like, the highlight of their life is fucking
getting ass.
What kind of caliber of woman can I get? You know, and that sucks, man. I'm here trying to build a legacy. You're out here trying to chase pussy. At the end of the day, in 20 years, you've had sex however many times. You've had slept with however many beautiful women. What does that bring you? You're still left with nothing.
Listen, goals, man. You got goals. You're going about it the right way. You're basically going for purpose in your life right now. You know,
that's number one.
You're following excellence. Don't follow excellence. You know, don't follow women, or don't seek women. Seek excellence. And if you seek excellence, the women will come.
And if I was to meet myself when I was younger, even when I do talk to people who are younger, like teenagers, because people are starting to have sex young, man. So I try, if like a family friend, or like my friend who is like I don't know, somebody who's younger, I try to like tell them about that, man. Hey, man, like if you put in the work now, it's gonna pay off in the future.
For sure.
So I always try to advocate for that, man. Like you got to stay on your purpose above all. And above all, you have to have a purpose. Because what happens when you don't have a purpose? You get depressed, and then your life kind of sucks. It's boring. But what happens when that happens, right? You want to do. You look for like external like stimulation, man. Like you're looking for what's like. I remember whenever I was like in my teens, I would always like after I was done with school or work, whatever the thing was, call my friend. What's up? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Until I could find something to do that was fun. And that's not gonna get you. You know?
Listen, I am happy that you're doing that, and just keep doing what you're doing, because eventually that right girl is gonna be like, I want to be with that dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Because what you're doing is, dude, listen, a lot of people don't do what you do. That's what I tell Elijah all the time. You guys are alpha.
No.
Guys don't do what you guys do. So you have to uplift yourself and think about it and see yourself like that as that man, because at the end of the day, it's how you portray and how you feel about you inside that's gonna attract women to you. Like you said,
it's
the way you carry yourself. Women are gonna be like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
I want to be with that guy. Why are women talking to that guy?
Yeah.
Like I said, I just try to give young men the tools to get women, because that's what I do. I go out. If I go out, man, honestly, I go out with a beautiful woman. If I go out, and if I'm with a beautiful woman, I do it on purpose because it makes me more attractive to other women. So I always make sure I'm with beautiful women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I said, you can't fake who you are. Like, you could fucking be in a Lambo. If you're a dork, you're fucking just a fucking dork.
You can't change that.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you come out of a fucking Lambo or a Porsche or whatever, and you got the personality, and you got everything going for you, they're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? I want to be like that guy. So men want to be you, and the women that are looking for you, they want to have sex with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But listen.
Dude, I'll take any of the cougars out there, man.
Stick to the mission, man. No, listen, stick to the mission. But one more thing that we're going to talk about, because you hit on a very important point at the beginning of the show. You wanted to talk about anything related to conspiracy theories. Tell me about. So we'll talk about, like, they say that 9/11 was an inside job.
9/11. Do I think it's an inside job? Probably. I think it's right after that happened. Whatever the act was called, whenever they basically made it, the government's allowed to fucking spy on us at all times. I think.
Yeah, but do you believe that the government basically created the 9/11 attacks? Right.
I think most likely. I can't say for sure. I haven't done my due diligence, but I would assume so.
So we spent the last 10 years, or I spent the last 10 years of my life basically studying all this stuff that was going on as far as before 9/11, because I was the same way as you. I was trying to get to the bottom. I was like, what the fuck happened here, right? Because I was your age when 9/11 happened. You said you're 23, right?
Yeah, 23.
I was like 24, 25. I mean, I had my kids. I just opened up my first shop. So I started going into it, and a lot of the stuff that was happening, you're just really young, man. A lot of the stuff that was happening before 9/11, like people hijacking planes, that used to happen in the 70s, right?
Oh, really?
And dude, that used to happen all the time. We just never knew that fucking people could fly planes into fucking buildings till the Saudis did it, right?
Yeah.
Because of Osama. So Osama bin Laden, if you go back enough into history, the Afghanistan war in the 80s, when Russia was fighting Afghanistan. Well, we were supplying weapons to the Mujahideen. the Mujahideen was fighting the Russians, right? We used to.
It was like a Cold War.
Yeah, with the surface-to-air missiles, we were shooting down their fucking birds. That was American technology, right?
Yeah, we're like playing like puppets almost.
Yeah.
Trying to over territories.
And then we had Desert Storm, which we were siding with Saddam Hussein. You know, Iran, Iraq. We were funding Iraq, right? So then these fucking guys get into these fucking, you know, because the reason why Osama bin Laden hated us so much was because when Saddam Hussein attacked Kuwait, they thought that he was going to attack the kingdom, meaning Saudi Arabia. So Osama bin Laden went to the kingdom and said, I will bring my mujahideen that we were fighting the Russians, I will bring them here and we will protect the kingdom from Saddam. And they said, no, we're going to let the Americans do it. So the Americans came in, this is during Desert Storm, and they had fucking women without their tops off, with their tops off, fixing Humvees in these military bases around a bunch of like Arab men. And basically they felt humiliated that they could not defend the kingdom, especially the purists, like Saddam, like Osama bin Laden. So that's why he had this just fucking hatred for Americans, right?
Yeah.
So listen, they always talk about the military-industrial complex, bro. I mean, I was part of the military-industrial complex, and there's some of the most incompetent motherfuckers you'll meet. I've met in the fucking military. Some of the best leaders I've met in the military, but you wouldn't believe the stupidity that is this military-industrial complex. So listen, you could be onto something, but at the end of the day, like I said, if you go back long enough, I mean, you know, there was a reason why we had the first World Trade Center, because the whole point was to blow up the bottom, so it would topple the other one. So basically, this one would blow up and it would fall onto the other one.
I've seen a little bit of the science behind that. Personally, watching it, it looks a little weird the way it goes down.
It does look a little weird. It does look a lot of weird.
And number two is directly before that, they reported they had like $1 trillion missing from like the Pentagon or whatever. Like, $1 trillion goes missing. Oh, and next thing you know, the buildings go down. Right? So what I'm saying is a bunch of fishy shit happened. But I don't know, man. I think I don't know, man. I feel very weird. I think my segue is like my conspiracy kind of realm of what I tap into. It's all speculative, and I don't listen to other people talk about conspiracies. This is me conspiracizing or whatever, you know. And all I can say is, you see something that's kind of obvious, and like, hey, that's weird. People like to discount those kinds of arguments as in like, oh, it's just speculative. Oh, it's just conspiracy, but. Okay, $1 trillion goes missing. Planes crash into this building.
Yeah, but is that a fact? Can we find it? Can we find an article saying that there was $1 trillion?
Oh yeah, that's 100% provable.
But listen, man, you think it's a conspiracy? Like that's a conspiracy?
Oh, and then after that, they start spying on everything because they're using that as an excuse as to why we need to the government can check in on us basically at all times. You know, and then they see our messages, they hear our calls, you know what we're doing on social media. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
all right, but listen to this. But look, but that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I was part of the military-industrial complex. You don't think that what happened in Afghanistan? I mean, a fucking chick at Wendy's, the manager at Wendy's, could have had a better pullout than what the most powerful country. Dude, we left billions of dollars, man. You know that those vehicles. I drove in those vehicles, the MATVs. They're $500,000. I think we left it was like over $200 billion in military equipment. How the fuck does that happen, man?
And what happened after that? You're saying recently, right? Whenever
the pullout of Afghanistan.
And ISIS took over?
Yeah, now they're driving our shit. Yeah. They're firing
what's the
our weapons.
Update? What's the update on that?
I haven't, dude. I don't know. I don't even watch the news anymore.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I kind of that's like I was saying. My side of the conspiracy is like, or of what I conspiracize, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Is like, I think the government's always up to some weird shit, man. That's why I was saying I don't know if I feel okay fighting for this country and for some points is because, like, for instance, the COVID thing, man, that's tyrannical to say you have to stay at home. You can't come outside. You have to shut down your businesses. You cannot open or we will take action against that, you know? I think just looking at that in itself, man, if you look at the college education systems, man, like these, like a lot of the papers they publish, they've done, it's something to look into. What they call it? They called it like academic laundering or something like that, or like basically what they would do is they would, in a study, they would cite a bullshit study that slipped through the cracks. That was basically like someone gender studies, let's say like that. It's an easy example. Like, oh, men are fucking. Wow, what was that study? They basically, these guys, they trolled the system. They submitted a bullshit paper. It got approved.
I believe it.
It's academically citable. Then what they did was they would create more. They would get someone else, or they would do it themselves, and they would cite that paper, and then they would submit it, and then they would just keep doing that in a circle until they basically created a bunch of nonsense, and they got it all cited and proven, and whatever level. A lot of this stuff I don't have off this information.
But Jason, the education system in this country is fucking completely fucking broken, man. Yeah. You know that there's places in New York, Dr. Thomas, please listen to more Dr. Thomas Sowell, because he was talking about the stuff in the 70s. And all these guys like Ben Shapiro, they're like these fucking bright guys. It's like, dude, Dr. Sowell's been talking about this since the 70s. They have fucking private rooms in fucking New York where if you're an incompetent teacher, you just fucking go there and hang out. Because it's so expensive. It's like, I think they would spend like $500,000 just trying to get rid of you. So instead of get rid of you, you just go to one of these rooms, you just hang out all day, and you get paid. With the welfare system, the lack of fathers, I mean, that was created by the Great Society in the 1960s, meaning that women, especially minorities, black women, Hispanic women, no longer needed a father because the government would take care of you.
Yeah, no, that's something like that. Another controversial belief, like we're saying, like, fuck it, I'm gonna just speak my truth, man. I think a big thing we see is when you're to hammer home that the fatherless thing is one that's national. That's across the borders, man. People, if men are becoming feminized, what's happening to their kids? They're not getting as strong as parental figures. And I think in the African American community, it's a big topic they like to push, is that we are treating African Americans unfairly, and they have an unfair disadvantage right off the get go. But the reality is, their culture's been fucked for a while, man. Like with the fatherless percent, like it's like only like 20% of them or something have fathers. Not even a quarter of them.
Yeah, and 70. I think it's
you
like
have to have a father, man. Like this, the data is not deniable, man. Like if you don't have a father figure growing up, you're kind of screwed. Like you're as a little baby, you're developing. You're
70%, Jason. 70% in the African community.
Yeah, so
without fathers, man.
Only 30% have dads, man.
And it used to be
crazy.
And it used to be like 23% under Jim Crow laws. So people have not become more racist. Yeah. So that is a blame on the fucking American government. The American government created that. Like I said, they created that in the 1960s with L.B. Johnson. He was the biggest fucking racist there was. You know? Yeah. But he said that if we implement this to the black America, and he said it with the N-word, he said they will follow us for the next 200 years. Right? Because they have no father figure. I grew up without a father. And I had feminine tendencies because I was raised by my mother. So it was like if I would get mad, I would start yelling and screaming just like a woman. Just like a woman, yeah. Because men are stoic, man. If you're raised by a man, men are stoic. I learned that in the army. See, to me, the army was the father I never had. Because the army was like that tough disciplinarian that said, get over yourself, stop feeling so sorry for yourself. Don't be a bitch. Get it done. Accomplish the mission. Right? So I thank God for the army, because God only knows what would have happened to me if I wouldn't join the army. Yeah. You know? Yeah, for sure, man. I definitely feel you on that. For me personally, like, I think, like, we're going back and we were saying, like, females are interested in people, man, they're interested in objects, right? Me, myself, I'm more of a people person, actually. Like, I'm inherently a feminine dude, like, as it is, but that doesn't mean that just because that's your personality doesn't mean you don't hone that masculine side. Because if you're just going to be like, those feminine dudes that don't have any control of their emotions, I realize that's actually why I got this tattoo right here, Cupid, right?
I wouldn't necessarily call you a feminine dude, though. I mean, you're just more chill, man. You're just more chill. That's it.
I would say that, like, I wouldn't say. I think my personality, I would say it's somewhat inherently feminine, because I like people more. I like objects. Like, I've never really been into the whole car thing. I've never liked building stuff. I always like handling people, meeting new people. Love that. love traveling and things like that.
But just think about it, man. Look, and this is taking advice from an old man.
Yeah.
You're 23 years old.
Yeah.
You're gonna be different when you're 32. Men, you know that men don't fully mature till they're 32.
Yeah.
I didn't become.
That's like the peak, yeah.
Yeah, you become the man that you are, and you kind of start to see the world differently. So you still have a lot more maturing to do. I mean, you obviously start using fucking power tools, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys that they don't even know how to use a fucking drill. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what were you doing your whole life?
Yeah.
They can't use a hammer.
Yeah.
Are you like, you know, like?
Yeah, that was me, man. I was working a little bit of blue collar, learning that stuff over the last couple of years. Only now, I've been training twice a day.
Really?
But I'm still behind the ball in terms of working on things. But dude, that's something I think is like important for people to understand. Is like, you at the end of the day, regardless of your personality, you do as a dude, you have to channel that masculine side, which is, I think, what inherently as men, I like to boil it down to like, men are stoic and logical.
That's right.
You know, on the other hand, women are emotional and they're intuitive.
Yes.
That's why it's like moms know best. You know, they do. They got the intuition, man, and they have the emotions to support. You know, like. That's why they're caretakers, like I was saying.
Well, they can
the man
people.
has to be stoic, man.
Yeah,
They have to be able to do whatever it takes. Like,
yeah,
because I've learned that through jiu-jitsu, man. It's like after I've lost some tournaments, it's like, fuck, I kind of want to quit. Like I'm like, this sucks. Like, will I ever make it? Like I've lost, like especially if you lose like 3-4 tournaments in a row. It's like, man, do I have what it takes? You know, and that kind of thought creeps in. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's whoever works the hardest.
Yeah, but come on, how are you now? Because
now
you do well.
I got over it. Yeah, I got over it.
Yeah, I would not train against you, man. I would not. You're like on another level. Like, you know, I'm on fucking old man jiu-jitsu. I train with the white belts to see if they can get something.
Yeah.
You know, I train a little bit, but yeah, like I'm not gonna waste your time, man. You need to be training with tough guys.
Yeah.
You need to continue to be training with my son.
Yeah.
You know?
That's been a game changer training with Elijah, man. And I've noticed that about him too. Is like a lot of these high level guys, they're nitpicky, man. They're perfectionists. Like, if like I was frustrated that I was, you know, like what basically how my blue belt career has gone is, I win the local tournaments, I beat most people, but when I go against the top 10 guys in the world, I'm losing. And that was whenever I was training like 4 or 5 days a week, which is I've maintained that steady for like 3-4 years almost. But only recently have I been doing the 2 days, the 3 days. And then that, I feel like, I'm like, all right. And I'm training with Elijah now. Man, I feel confident coming up for the next, whatever major title I do next. Europeans or Pans, I don't know which one.
Yeah.
If I can get the money to go to Europe, I'm going.
The same thing that I would tell my son, man. If you're injured, don't fucking compete. Get well. Because you injure yourself again and then you can't fucking train for 6 months.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I always tell my son. If you're injured, don't do it. Fucking wait. You know, he's fucking ready now because he was injured for like 7-8 weeks after Worlds. He fucked his knee up. You know, so yeah. No, listen, man, you're an up and coming talent and we love having you at Mansuda. You're gonna
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So hey, listen, that's fucking a lot of time, man. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, flew by.
Yeah, you're a super intelligent guy, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right thing, brother.
Oh, yeah,
so
man.
stay the course. It was good having you. All right, guys, this is for the old breed, and we are out. All right, brother, that was good, man. That was excellent.
Oh yeah, man, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fucking good, man. We're gonna definitely have to do it again. And you know, like I said, man, it wasn't anything too, you know, because I know there's a lot of other shows. They just like to. They just want to be controversial. They just want to say stupid shit. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to be logical, man.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, we're good, brother.
Hour